Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be installing the LSA supercharger on my Miata, so let's get to it. First thing we need to do though is we need to remove the old LS1 intake. Just like that, the intake is off. Now it's time to go to Summit to pick up the adapters to go from cathedral port to square port. Here it is, the best place in the world. Woo! I just got back from Summit Racing and I picked up these adapters to go from square port to cathedral port because my heads are cathedral and the LSA supercharger is square, and all they do is sit down on here, and the kit comes with longer bolts, so all you have to do is set the supercharger down and tighten the bolts down. So with a lot of struggling, because this thing's fucking heavy, I got it installed. Here it is, supercharger's installed. If you look down in the gap here, that's the spacer. The spacer itself has its own gasket, and the supercharger has its own gasket, so you don't have an intake leak. But this is a ZR1 LSA supercharger, but for clearance, I didn't go with a ZR1 lid. I picked up this CTSV lid, so it'll hopefully clear the hood, which I'm having doubts that it will. And with the lid on, it looks even better. So there's still a lot to do to get this running and everything. Still need to put a heat exchanger up front and get a throttle body and fuel rails. That shit's pretty expensive, so it's gonna take a while for all that. But hopefully before spring, this should be running and ready to go. My plan is to put the coolant tank up here so it's hidden, because even with the rear mounted radiator, the lines to the back, even though you can't really see them, they really heat up the cabin a lot. So I don't want any more heat in there. So I'm just gonna try and keep it simple and keep the pump and everything out of the way. Even though everybody thinks it's a bad idea, I'm still gonna try and hook the nitrous up. I do have a spare lid, so I'm gonna try and tap into, I don't know, somewhere on the front or the side to get the nozzles into it. But I think feeding it through like a throttle plate would be a bad idea. My plan for the belt setup is just to add another pulley about right here and have it so it comes off the power steering pump under, then wraps around here, then down to the water pump. It should work, but if not, there's companies that sell full belt drives, but that's money I don't need to spend if this works. One shitty part about this is I won't be able to hide this because the hood doesn't close. There's going to be a bunch of cutting and everybody's gonna know it's there, which kind of sucks, but it's part of the game. Even though the supercharger's installed, that's the easy part. Next comes the cooling system and the fuel rails, which fuel rails are pretty expensive, and the wiring of the LS3 style map sensor. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.